Hello and welcome to Priya's Corner. Today I have with me someone who is the woman of the moment or the person of the moment, Sharmishtha Mukherjee, whose book Pranav, My Father, A Daughter's Remembers is with me. And I have to tell you, it is a must-read book, whether you're in politics or you're not. If you're anyway little interested in politics or what is happening in our country, I think, Sharmishtha, it's a brilliant book. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Priya. That's a great compliment for a writer, for a budding writer, for a debut writer. I take it like that.
No, you know something, it is also a writer's book. Of course, Pranav Das diaries would be read. But you have written it in such an easy style that I have to compliment you on your style of writing.
Thank you.
That is...
That's a great compliment.
No, that is truly the case. But the book, I have to say, has gone viral. Everywhere I go, whether it's a conclave like this. कल भी हमारी बात हो रही थी इसको लेके. अनुराग ठाकुर ने जिक्र किया था. He said that, he was quoting Pranab Mukherjee on Rahul Gandhi. Everywhere I go, people are talking about the book. And, I think there was also more than the book to connect with Pranav Da. I think that seems that you bring him alive for us once again.
Well, I think, Baba's diaries had been a matter of curiosity, especially in the journalist politician circle, for many years, because everybody knew that he chronicles his observations daily. So, and he would always say that whatever it is, during my lifetime, definitely there is no question of any revelation of what is there inside, and he is going to leave it to his daughter, and it's up to me what I want to do with it. So even while he was alive, he did not even allow me to read those. I used to, especially in his after presidency, so when there was time. So I asked him many a times, Baba, let's start working on your diaries. He said, no way. You're not going to read them before I go.
But there was a tacit understanding that you would get them once he's passed on and you could...
he left the decision to me. He told a couple of journalists, he told, some of his close associates, including his sisters and all that, my daughter is going to write about me after I pass away. But he never, said that, you have to, write about the diaries or write his autobiography. But yes, I think somewhere he expected me to, write about his diaries.
How did the idea come about that you would...
No, that's why I said, the idea, it originated during my father's time only, that I would do something, though as you say that, without him ever imposing anything on me. So, somewhere I knew that I have to do something about it. I have to write about my father. But, how to do it, how to, structure, publishing the diaries needs a very different structure altogether. And, he has left 51 volumes. So, you just can't do it like that. And as I was contemplating about it, my very dear friend and the celebrated writer and author Amitabh Ghosh, he advised that make it also your story. And make it just not a political journey, but also his personal journey. What about his travels in life, about his struggles, and also how being his daughter has affected you. So I think it's a combination of various things. It's not just his diaries, of course, which are a major part of it, and about his political journey. I came to know about it in detail, and his thoughts, his perspective about it through his journeys. But it also has got a lot of personal side to it.
Yeah, and your relationship between you two also has come out. But what people are talking about a lot is about Rahul Gandhi. A lot of it is known, Rahul Gandhi's disinterest. But the fact that, that someone of the stature of Pranab Mukherjee was taking note of it is very interesting. What is the one thing that strikes you?
How can nobody not take a note of it? When Rahul Gandhi trashed his own governance ordinance, how can nobody take not a note of it? His frequent absences, especially after 2014, he just disappeared in between, So how can anybody not take a note of it? So, and this book is not about Rahul Gandhi. My father just made few observations about him. But when, journalists are saying it's a revelation, I don't think it's a revelation. It's all known, but perhaps, especially people in the Congress party, naturally, they can't talk about it openly, as simple as that.
Anybody in the Congress reached out to you? I know you invited a lot of them for the book launch.
No, nobody. Nobody except for Mr. Chidambaram, who very graciously he was present at my launch, and I myself was a bit surprised because no one from Congress, though some leaders, because I sent them the invite at least through WhatsApp much before the book came out and the revelations quote unquote came out. So I got some confirmation that they would come. But I think once the book made news and what the content about it, some part excerpts about Rahul Gandhi came out. So after that, there was nothing from their side.
Nothing. But Chidambaram coming, I found that also pretty interesting because your father and Chidambaram never had the best of relationships. There was always that rivalry going on. They held portfolios, home and finance, and there were always exchange between the two of them. So there was a turf war between the two of them.
And not only that, like I remember quoting Mr. Chidambaram's tweet after the loss of Delhi. I mean, we lost in Delhi February 2020. For the second time, the Congress lost, and it was our vote share came out to about 4%. And at that time, Mr. Chidambaram tweeted something, and I quoted his tweet, and replied pretty harshly on that. So I remember that also. But despite that, I think he's coming. It shows that whatever rivalry they had or not, I mean, he's definitely a person much beyond those petty rivalries or whatever, and that is something I had gone through while going through his diaries, and I realized that during UPA 1 and 2 years, there were a lot of issues, there were a lot of disagreements. My father's one of the phrases he used, heated exchange of word. But what I realized, the key players, they knew how to manage differences. I think that's the most important thing. So there were periods of, sparks flying and, cold shouldering, but they knew. Yeah, but that a lot has been written about that and it was clarified. So that's why I didn't write anything about it. But the issue is that they knew how to manage the differences. I think that is the most important thing, and especially, about running a government.
In fact, what a lot has been spoken about Rahul and the relationship, but what I found engaging was the Indira Gandhi years and the relationship between the two of them, because she was really his first prime minister that he interacted with. She taught him a lot also. A bit about that, if you can share.
So I'm glad you asked this question because nobody is asking about that. My father always considered Indira Gandhi as his mentor, and he maintained that till the last day of his life, and he always said, it's there in public domain on many occasions, he always said that whatever he was, wherever he had reached, it's all due to, thanks to Indira ji. Because exactly, be formally dressed, how to behave in the parliament, everything, little minute details. So as far as my
example, when he was, I think, a little short with the member of parliament, she told him to apologize.
Yes, absolutely. Bhupesh Gupta, who was a legend. So my father, he intervened, and my father spoke a bit rudely to him. So Indira ji immediately sent a slip to him, apologize right now. So my father stopped in his speech and apologized to Mr. Gupta. So these kind of decorum, this kind of parliamentary decorum, this kind of every small little thing, starting from politics to diplomacy to how to dress formally. So Indira ji taught. I mean, my father thought that Indira Gandhi years were the golden period of his life. And because he was learning new skills, he was simultaneously administering, polishing, honing up on those skills, practicing it, and all under the tutelage and guidance of Indira Gandhi. And there was a unique bond of trust, and of course my father's personal loyalty. If towards any leader he had a personal loyalty that began and ended with Indira Gandhi. And after that he served the Congress party, but not an individual leader. So my father would never tire talking about those days. There are enough. I mean, I can write another book on that. So Indira Gandhi ji for him was really his mentor.
No, in fact, but very interestingly, when I think Pilu Modi, you write in Parliament, said that we have 2 PMs in the house, she intervened. Just tell us that incident.
Actually, my father's full name is Pranab Kumar Mukherjee, and obviously, as the practices, you addressed by the, like, shortening the name by the initials. Obviously, he could not be called PM, but he was addressed as PKM. That's how even the old leaders also, like in Congress party, know him as that, PKM. So once, in a light-hearted banter in the parliament, and Pilu Modi, who was like a veteran parliamentarian and known for his wit, and he commented that there are only two permanent PMs in the house, Pilu Modi and Pranab Mukherjee. So Indiraji was present there, and he said that Pranab is not PM but he's PKM. And then I wrote that perhaps there was something providential in that statement, because Pranab could never become the PM.
But he's known as the best PM India never had. So that is
Well, that is not for me to say anything about it, but that is for others.
But then his relationship with Sonia Gandhi, what went wrong?
I don't think anything went wrong. Rather, I think everything.
But she never trusted him in the first place.
It was, initially it was cold, perhaps, or nothing to write home about. But slowly, they developed a very close, warm working relationship. And trust, distrust, these are very, one thing I learned about my father's diary, reading this, that in politics as well as in life, perhaps there is nothing black and white. Just because she did not trust him enough to make him the Prime Minister, that means she distrusted him. There's a difference. Because she trusted him enough to give him very key portfolios. During the UPA 1, UPA 2, he was the firefighter in UPA 1 and UPA 2 governments. Yeah, so many GAOMs, so many EGOMs, anything, any kind of negotiation with the other parties. So he was like a very, very important figure in UPA 1 and UPA 2. But as far as that, absolute trust in terms of making him the Prime Minister, we come to that. So as per my father's assessment, that perhaps she felt that Sonia ji feared, rightly or wrongly, that was my father's assessment, that Baba might challenge her authority. So once he told me, once in the, and he said it in a very nice way. He did not say it in a bitterly, that, in the cutthroat world of politics, everybody safeguard their interest. Sonia ji was perhaps just safeguarding her and her family's interest. So like that, like it's not that, he had any bitterness against Sonia ji, and definitely not against Dr. Manmohan Singh, whom he really held in high regard.
This is a man who once called Pranab Das sir, but he had no objections, sitting with him in a cabinet meeting and addressing it to him as a...
Not at all. And in fact, I heard it from various journalists that, Baba had to tell him repeatedly when he became, Dr. Singh became Prime Minister, Baba had to tell him repeatedly that please don't call me sir, it is totally against the protocol. And in fact, in Baba's diary, there is a entry also, that he wanted to confer Dr. Manmohan Singh Bharat Ratna. But then what happened after? He asked the cabinet secretary to talk to Pulak Chatterjee, who was the principal secretary to the Prime Minister, to ascertain views of Sonia Gandhi. But what happened after that, I do not know, because there is no further entry to that.
This far and no further. Thank you so much, Sharmishtha, for sharing some insights about the book, and I totally recommend it. As I said, it's a must read for everyone who's a little bit interested in politics and who has a lot of interest in Pranab. Definitely read the book. Thank you.